A long season's march is about to begin, and the Seahawks welcome the task. The old soldier Warren Moon commands one of the most explosive teams in the NFL, and now one of the flashiest. Ricky Watters swapped his feathers in the offseason and brings his war dance to Seattle. Today, his old coach Ray Rhodes and the Eagles welcome Ricky home, Philadelphia style. Sunny on opening day in Philadelphia. The vet is sold out as the Eagles meet the Seattle Seahawks. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Criqui. Seattle coach Dennis Erickson is very wary about opening day. His teams have lost all three openers while he's been at Seattle. They were humiliated by the Jets last season, but boy, does he have talent. Warren Moon, quarterback, and now Ricky Watters in the backfield to run, catch, and block. One of the best backs in the NFL, a five-time Pro Bowl player, coming back to the vet where he played last season. I'm joined by a former New York Giant captain, Beasley Reece, who's known Ray Rhodes whole life since you were high school stars in Texas. But this whole town, Beasley's down and Ray and his Eagles.
Well, basically, they had a miserable preseason. The #1 offense scored one touchdown. That came on a broken play. So the fans have basically written off the team, and they expect their coach to be fired. But you know what? That's the story of that man, Ray Rhodes. He's always been the underdog, and he told us in a meeting yesterday he likes it that way. He says he's got some fighters on this team, and he expects a great effort out of the football team today.
Everybody's to get him, and there is Dennis Erickson. And Erickson's preseason was really very strong. His team, I don't know if there's a weak spot in it. I think this is without question one of the preeminent teams in the American Conference, if not in the whole league. They're just loaded with talent. The Eagles will receive. Alan Rossen, a rookie, and Aaron Hayden are back. Kick spinning downfield, and this is Rossen. No, Hayden steps in front of him, and he downs the ball to the dismay of Rossen, who as a collegian set the Notre Dame kick return record. He had 6 returns on punts and kickoffs for touchdowns. The Philadelphia Eagles coming out on offense with third-year quarterback Bobby Hoying from Ohio State. And here are his blockers. Trey Thomas at left tackle is a player to watch. Deuce Staley starts at running back. Charlie Garner has a bad ankle. The Eagles depleted by injuries. And now they go 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. Hoying gets free. He's on the run, and Bobby Hoying, with no one to go to, does get ahead for a 5-yard gain. And now let's look at the Seattle defense, which graded out number 8 in the entire NFL last year. Seahawks have Mike Sinclair, Sam Adams, Dan Saliamua starts for Cortez Kennedy. He's out with an ankle problem. And a rookie middle linebacker starts for Dean Wells, Deshaun Miles. Secondary very strong with good cover corners in Sean Springs and Willie Williams, and a Pro Bowl safety in Darrell Williams. On 2nd and 5, it's to the run they go. Deuce Staley fighting ahead, gets some yards. He's ahead for about 3. And that'll bring up 3rd and short yardage for the Eagles on their opening drive. Mike Sinclair, the left end, was the tackler.
Deuce Staley gets a big opportunity here. He's 5'11", 225 pounds, and it's really the story of Charlie Garner. I mean, here's a guy who gets his big opportunity, and he's hurt again. That's been the story. Can he be durable? So Deuce Staley gets a big opportunity.
Now Beasley, Freddie Solomon comes in as a wide receiver. On 3rd and short, Hoying on the rollout, takes a look, fires the ball, and it's incomplete. So on the opening sequence, it is 3 downs and out for Hoying and the Eagles. Their offense, their first-string offense, produced only 1 touchdown in 4 preseason games, and Ray Rhodes says we've got to find a way to at least run the ball a little.
Well, you know, you saw a little of what they're going to try to do today. Bobby Hoying moving the pocket. They told us you'll see more formations, you'll see more motion, and you'll see Bobby rolling out and throwing deep when Seattle blitzes.
Now Tommy Hutton left foots the ball downfield. Coming over at it is Kerry Joseph. Ball on the field, picked up by Sean Springs. The Eagles almost coming up with a big turnover early, but Seattle manages to maintain possession as Joseph comes off the field. A surprise returner. They've been really using this guy all over the field. I think he has unlimited potential. Joseph was a star quarterback at McNeese State. Now he's a defensive back.
Well, see, here are the opportunities. I mean, the Eagles have to take advantage of this. That's a great job of coverage to get into the return man's face, but those bounces, the good teams pick those up. That's a missed opportunity for Philadelphia.
Big missed opportunity. No sunlight to contend with in the Kingdom, so that could have been a problem here on this bright, sunny September day. Waters fakes the reverse and takes the ball himself, and Ricky Waters, who was a sprint champion in Pennsylvania at Bishop McDevitt High School 100 miles away in Harrisburg, shows his speed. As we look now at the offensive lineup, a very strong offensive line for the Seahawks with three-time Pro Bowler Kevin Glover now in at center, and a guy who starred in the offensive line of Denver Super Bowl champions Brian Habib is at right guard. So they've been markedly improved their offensive line. Moon and the Seahawks with 2nd and 1. Waters finds his way to the 34-yard line, maybe the 35, and he appears to have a first down as we check the Eagles defensive alignment. Greg Jefferson was the best player in the preseason at defensive end. Bill Johnson, a very big defensive tackle. Good linebackers. They all can run and tackle. Thomas, a three-time Pro Bowl player at the right outside. And Al Harris starts at cornerback for the injured Bobby Taylor. First down for the Seahawks. Multiple set offense. Warren Moon, a timing throw, swings it out beautifully, and Waters out of the backfield comes ahead across the 35-yard line, and the Eagles middle linebacker James Willis knocks him down for a short gain.
Boy, Ricky Waters is getting his work in early in this football game. I mean, here he is. This is a nice little drop back, and Warren Moon reads everything so quickly. Look how he throws the ball in front of Ricky, where Ricky can continue his forward motion. Nice little play.
Very nicely done. Waters caught 161 passes in his 3 years with the Eagles. And off again, and they're going right at the Philadelphia defense, which was to be the strong suit. Hollis Thomas makes the tackle, but he got blown off the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know what? That Seattle offense is really more like a run and shoot offense, but this is Ricky Waters' day. So they are going to feed this guy today. You can tell it in the game plan early, but as soon as the Philadelphia Eagles bring in that extra lineman and load things up against the run, that's when they have to be wary of Warren Moon jacking it up in the air.
Here's an interesting set. 3rd and short, less than 2 yards. Handoff. They go to the fullback, and big tough Max Strong, a former captain of the Georgia Bulldogs, takes it across midfield. Taken down by Brian Dawkins, a very good free safety for the Eagles, but he too is hampered, Beasley, with a knee problem.
You know, we watched him practice yesterday, and I really questioned whether or not he'd be able to get out here. But before the game today, he's moving a little bit better. He hyperextended the knee in practice late in the week, so it looks like he's all right.
Seattle on its first possession after a Philadelphia punt, moving the ball methodically, run and pass. Warren Moon, play faking, fires down the field. He's got the super fast Joey Galloway, who's coming off a phenomenal year. He caught 72 for over 1,300 yards last year, 12 for touchdowns. Fastest player on the field.
Joey Galloway is one of the best athletes in the National Football League. You see right here, this is just a little old stop pattern, old-fashioned 12-yard screen, comes back to the ball to maintain the separation between Troy Vincent and himself. And so far, this Seattle offense is doing whatever they want to do. They run it, they pass it.
Opening possession as they have now moved down to the 37-yard line. A pitch back, near side run by Waters. He's got blockers. Ricky Waters, as a penalty marker comes flying in. We could have a blocking foul on the Seahawks as middle linebacker James Willis got him. Referee today is Larry Nemmers. Looks like he's getting set to rip that. Now he's got an illegal low block, a chop block. So it's a blocking foul on the Seahawks, and Dennis Erickson Oh, how well he remembers that opening day a year ago. Beasley beaten 41-3 at home by the Jets.
Crack back.
And boy, the reviews
On the
were great
offense,
on
number
Seattle,
85. That's a 15-yard penalty.
For him to get killed
Repeat
like
first
that
down.
was unreal. Let's see if we can find the block. Take a look right here at Pritchard. He comes down and throws at the knee right away. And also, one of the fullbacks cracked back on the lineman. So I don't know which call he made, but you can't go low inside of that tackle box. So I think it might have been the other crack that they actually called.
Biggest penalty in the game, a 15-yard penalty for the illegal block. So the Seahawks now set up at their 48. First down, and they need 25. Moon, a timing throw, and he comes in high and over the hands of Mike Pritchard.
Well, I'll tell you what, Al Harris signed off of Tampa Bay's waiver wire. He was on their practice team last year, was in perfect position that time to take that out route. He was underneath it, and Warren Moon saw that he got a good break, and at the last second he threw it high, or that ball would be going the other way in the Philadelphia Eagles' hand in the end zone right now. This is a guy, Don, that's been with the team like 2 days.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know the other players he's playing with.
Well, he's going to break a sweat today because they're going to go at him all day long. On 2nd and 25, Moon stands in, dumps the ball off, and throws it too high. So the Seahawk offense, which was a thing of beauty, precise, synchronized, moving the ball down the field, an illegal block by Mike Pritchard costs them this drive in all probability, as they now have 3rd down and 25.
Well, Ray Rhodes said he's got some fighters on this team, and so far, even though things were going really bad for his football team, they have steadied the course just a little bit and coming up with a couple of plays.
But more than Eagle defense, it was the Seattle penalty that set the Seahawks back. Crowd really kicks in at the sold-out vet. Moon gets time, lets a long ball go. He's looking at James McKnight, who led the National Football League in receiving per catch yardage. Almost 19 yards a catch last year.
I like this Al Harris kid. He's actually talking trash to McKnight. He made a good coverage play on the out route. They tried to beat him deep there. He didn't buy it once. So, and the reason he's playing, Don, is that the young rookie Alan Rossen had some trouble in preseason once he had to play when Bobby Taylor was injured. So they picked up Al, threw him right to the fire, and he's done a good job.
And now Jeff Fiegels, the former Eagle, is back to punt as he forces a fair catch by Solomon back at the 10-yard line. So the Eagles will get the ball for a second time, but they'll have the long field to go as the ball is positioned at the 10-yard line. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Here's a look at what has happened to the Eagles. A lot of preseason injuries. Their starting tight end, Jason Dunn, went down with the knee. Mike Mamula, defensive end. Bobby Taylor, one of the best corners on the team, broke a bone in his shoulder. This was just a snake-bitten team in preseason.
-5 starters are the Eagles on opening day, and now they break the run as up the middle on a trap block. Deuce Staley breaks it all the way out across the 30-yard line, a 20-yard gain. They didn't have one of those all preseason with the running game.
Well, they told us they would do something different. They said this will not be the offense that you saw in preseason. That's excellent blocking by the offensive line. Deuce Staley could have driven his car through there. Nice running, good blocking by the O-line, and a superior effort by Deuce Staley.
Ray Rhodes, something to be optimistic about for the moment. Cortez Kennedy, the 5-time All-Star tackle for the Seahawks, out today. Sally Moore is in a tackle. And now in the backfield is Kevin Turner, the fullback, getting his first touch of the ball today. He's taken down by an extra defensive back, Mark Collins, number 25.
Ray Rhodes was very honest with us in his meeting. He said that they would get the ball to Kevin Turner more. So now you can start looking for now.
Beasley, you led the NFL with 9 interceptions one year. Did you ever get one served up like that?
No, I had to jump like Superman to get one.
Ball on the field. Seattle has it as Hoying has the ball knocked free. Michael Sinclair, a 2-time Pro Bowl player, who when we met with him yesterday was ready to play the game in the meeting room. This guy was fired up.
Boy, talk about an
Comes up with
emotional
a ball.
guy. He was like a preacher. He's a congressman or reverend, the way he was preaching about what this team can possibly accomplish this year. Here he is out here on the end. He gets a nice start. A shoulder slap goes. Richard Cooper had no chance. I mean, he just popped right around him with that speed and knocked it down.
Feeding frenzy for the ball, and big Sam Adams, a Pro Bowl alternate last January, comes up with a recovery, but it was Mike Sinclair who made the big play, and now the Seahawks challenge again, leading 7-0. Moon going for it all. He's got a man. Touchdown Seattle as Joey Galloway just blows by cornerback Troy Vincent. A 25-yard touchdown pass play as the Seahawks could be putting the knockout punch on early.
And that was too easy. Now let me tell you what an all-pro receiver does. At the end of this play, he doesn't look back and throw his hands up and let the DB know that the ball is coming. Watch how he keeps his hand down all the way down the route. His hands go up at the, see, his hands are down. He's like baiting Vincent. He's not letting him know that the ball is coming. Last second, he throws up the hands and catches it. That was too easy.
On his 12 touchdown catches last year, Galloway averaged almost 29 yards of reception. You can't catch him. He's the fastest guy in the field, Joey Galloway. And Seattle takes a 14-0 lead. The Seahawks kick off again as we come back to the NFL on CBS. .58 left to go in the first quarter, and the Seahawks already lead 14-0. Alan Rossen is cautioned to down the ball. He had 3 punt returns for touchdowns, 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns, 3 interception returns for touchdowns at Notre Dame during his career. Only player from Notre Dame drafted last April. 3rd-round pick, Alan Rossen.
Now here's what I meant when I said the wide receiver keeps his hands down. Look, he's running. Troy does it. Troy's reading his body language. At the last second, he never gives Troy an indication that the ball is coming his way. At the very last second, an all-pro receiver, that's high-level stuff, throws his hands up at the last second.
They talk about Galloway, Beasley being just a tremendous player in every facet of the game. Blocking, running routes when the ball's not coming to him, taking away a double team. Hoying is on the run. And Bobby Hoying weaves his way on first down and head for what's going to be about a 9-yard gain. Sinclair again had a big rush on him. Bobby Hoying, the offensive coordinator Dana Bible says of Hoying, the big thing we like about him, he was a 3rd-round pick. He's a career winner, had great numbers at St. Henry High School in Ohio, St. Henry, Ohio. As a starter at Ohio State, he was 37-1, 30 wins, 7 losses, and a tie. And he's a guy that's used to winning. They want to get him off on a smooth start, though, they said.
Well, this is going to be, this is the learning process for Bobby Hoying. He only had a few games as a starter last year. So it's very easy to confuse a young quarterback. He made a big mistake early in this football game. Now he just has to settle down, find a rhythm. 14 points, he can claw back from 14 points.
That's the best play they've got. Going to Deuce Staley right up the middle. 3 times now Deuce has produced first down yardage.
And Don, the Philadelphia Eagles are finding some running room. I mean, they are coming up with some plays. This big offensive line, by the way, Ray Roach said this is the biggest one he's ever coached. Nice double team on the center right here, right down the middle to open up a space. That play is working. Philadelphia they have to stop making mistakes.
Deuce Staley now with his 4th carry. He has 4 carries for 24 yards so far. Temperature on the field could be up, what figure, 100 degrees?
It's 100 degrees, believe me. I was out there earlier today, and if it's about 85, I mean, if you're walking around in the Philadelphia area, it's a wonderful day. But out there on that AstroTurf, the reflection adds about 15 degrees, so those guys are miserable, believe me.
The Seahawks are a little less miserable with a 14-0 advantage in the first quarter. Opening 3,000 miles away from home on the road. And up. They've got that running game going right up the gut. This time it's the fullback, Kevin Turner, who's knocked down by Sam Adams.
See, this offensive line is much maligned in the area, but they're doing a pretty good job. And basically, it's Bubba Miller and Ian Beckles double teaming the big tackles and opening up just enough space. So there's something happening out there for the Eagles offense. I mean, if they just keep working, they can work their way back into this, control the clock a little bit. You can't get greedy, and they can't put Bobby Hoying in a situation where he has to make dangerous passes because he doesn't have enough knowledge yet to do that.
Now, once the running game gets going, it gives him some options. This is an unusual offensive call for Hoying, a rare one in this game where he has short yardage for the first down, third and less than a yard, all positioned at the 46-yard line of the Eagles. Touchdown drive here would really buoy the Eagles. The run, Deuce Staley, he's fighting for yards, and he's got a first down carry. So the Eagles keep fighting. Darren Smith, an ex-Eagle. That outside linebacker, number 59, was the stopper for the Seahawks.
Well, in a fair world, Deuce Staley would have won the starting position on this football team. In preseason, he had the most yards. He had the best per carry. He outplayed Charlie Garner in preseason, although the team feels like Charlie has better upside talent. But Deuce earned this opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it.
And Ian Deckel's doing a good job, as you pointed out, Beasley, taking people out of the game to spring the run.
That's too late again, Don. Now, I'm not going to beat Bobby Hoying to death because he's a young guy, but this is an open play. Jeff Graham was wide open on the play, but he throws the ball too late. The ball has to be in the air before the receiver turns around. That's a question of confidence and a question of experience.
I did the game here last year where the Eagles were a big underdog, played the Steelers. Hoying got his first start. He was just tremendous as the Eagles upset the Steelers.
He had Ricky Waters running the ball for him back then.
Well,
that's a big
weapon.
difference.
This time the Seahawks are there to slam the run on Deuce Staley, and believe it or not, Deuce has run for more yards in the first quarter today than he had all of last season. He had very limited carries last year. Chad Brown, 94, was on the tackle for the Seahawks.
Well, I tell you, Chad Brown is a name that we haven't called today. This is one of the best players in the National Football League at the linebacker position.
Is he?
They will put him down as a down lineman in some situations. Other situations, he will stand up as a true outside linebacker, but people know him in this area from his Pittsburgh days.
And he goes as fast as he can go. Every play does Chad Brown. Third down. Here's a blitz. Hoying is going to be swept under all the way back at the 35-yard line. The ex-Eagle, Darren Smith, free agent signing. He comes busting through. He played for Dennis Erickson at Miami of Florida, did Darren Smith.
Bobby Hoying is overwhelmed in this football game. This guy, this young man, he's a super kid. He's got a lot of talent, but he can see, he should see this guy coming free. He can see that guy. I mean, you got to get out of the way of that guy. You got to run.
Here is Kerry Joseph back again for the Seahawks, coming up on the ball. And Joseph tightropes the sideline. You'll remember he fumbled the first punt return attempt. The Seahawks did maintain the ball. The NFL on CBS continues with the Seahawks in the lead 14-0. Bobby Hoying sacked twice already today. One time the hit by Sinclair forced a fumble that was subsequently turned into the second score of the first quarter by the Seahawks. They lead 14-0. Here's Ricky Waters. Among the many attributes they talk about Waters having, Beasley, is the fact he never misses practice, let alone a game.
This is one of the hardest working guys in the National Football League. Ray Rhodes said that in his time here, his 3 years here, he never missed a practice, never missed a game. This is a guy that you can count. You know, these high-paid guys, sometimes they take a day off because they got a headache, you know, toenail pull.
Here's a handoff at Waters. He's tall at 6'2", 217 pounds, but he has that low center. Leans in and finds the gap, and he gets across the 40.
Yeah, Ricky's got that low running style. He leans over low. He's got a big butt, if I can say that on TV.
You can say that.
He's got a big butt, and that big butt is key when it comes to, you know, maintaining the forward motion.
Minnesota up 14-0 on Tampa Bay in the first quarter. Ravens and the Steelers tied 3-3 in the first quarter. Here is Warren Moon standing, firing, and he comes in high. Good coverage by the Eagles.
That's my man Al Harris.
He can play football, Al.
I tell you, what a steal for the Eagles to find this guy on the waiver wire. I mean, he's made 3 real good coverage plays in this football game already in real good position.
And that will mean that Jeff Fiegels, who punted for the Eagles for 4 years from 90 through 93, will drop back again for Seattle. And there's the return man, Fred Solomon. Erickson extolled Fiegels as a punter because he's such a good directional punter. This time he booms a high spiral. Fair catch is signaled for. And the Seahawks down it inside the 5-yard line. So the nemesis of the Seahawks, the Achilles heel a year ago, was awful special teams play. In came Pete Rodriguez as assistant head coach and special teams coach. And their special teams have been superb in the preseason and up till now in this game. Coming up next, the second game of our doubleheader. Many of you will see Curtis Martin and the New York Jets battle Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and the San Francisco 49ers. In some areas, it'll be Marino versus Manning when the Dolphins take on the Colts. Or the Buffalo Bills meet San Diego. Check your local listings.
You talked about Pete Richardson. What I like about Seattle, they work on special teams in the middle of practice. That's the way you make sure that the players understand that this is just as important as offense and defense.
Exactly. Not a throwaway at the end of practice. It gets just as much attention. And now the Seahawks jam the runner. Corey Walker comes into the game as they bring in some fresh troops to run the ball. He missed all of last season with a knee injury. Philip Daniels was the lead tackler along with Dan Saliamua, 97. And that'll do it. That is the end of the first quarter of play with the score Seattle 14, Philadelphia nothing. We'll return to Veterans Stadium right after this message. Criqui with Beasley Reece. The NFL on CBS on opening day, and a big opening quarter for the Seahawks, a 14-0 lead. On an interception return by Springs, a touchdown catch by Galloway, and now Hoying under duress all day, throws from his end zone and makes the connection out to the 8-yard line. Jimmy Johnson, one of the tight ends, came up with the ball, and now they're going to wave it off, apparently, to Jimmy's dismay.
Yeah, Jimmy's mad because Jimmy thinks he caught this ball, and they're saying that he trapped it. Well, actually, they're having a little conversation right now. We'll see whether or not they overturn the call.
We'll take a look and see if there were any flags on the play. Coach Ray Rhodes putting in his part. Dennis Erickson told us yesterday the key to this game, as far as we're concerned, we have to be physical. We came out flat on opening day last year. The Seahawks were favored at the Kingdome. Bill Parcells and his Jets came in and humiliated them 41-3. In his 3 previous seasons as head coach of the Seahawks, the Hawks have started 0-2, 0-3, and 0-2. So Dennis Erickson wants to turn things around this opening day. And right now he's doing that, leading 14-0. We have no replay, so we're going to have a long conversation. Now the field has no replay. We have it. Let's take a look again.
Tight end is coming in motion right here. Bobby turned to his left first and then spun around at the last second.
On the ground. Now they're going to give it to him.
That's a tough call. I mean, it looked like he had about most of the ball he had possession of.
The ruling on the field is that the pass was complete and the whistle blew the ball dead. 3rd down.
So the Eagles do get the pass completion, and that advances the ball out close to their 8-yard line. 3rd down and 5 will come up. Green Bay leads Detroit 10-3. Second quarter score.
I got you.
Hoying with a slant pattern. He gets the ball to Jeff Graham, another former Ohio State Buckeye.
Now that's a completely different Bobby Hoying. That was thrown on time. It was thrown on rhythm. It was thrown with confidence, and it was thrown before Graham even broke to the inside. That's the Bobby Hoying that they're looking for. Oh, here's a great look at it. The ball's in the air right now. Time he comes open, he catches the ball. If he waits like he did on the other play, the DB would have had a chance to convert.
Beautifully timed throw and a 1st down for the Eagles. Hoying under the rush. sack by Philip Daniels.
Now this time Bobby basically had nowhere to go. They made a real good defensive play. The defender jumped in front of Bobby's wide receiver immediately, and so really Hoying does a good job just to get back up around the line of scrimmage here.
Seahawk players love Philip Daniels, the guy at Gatham, Beasley. As you know, they say his potential unlimited. Speed rusher, not that big as defensive ends go nowadays. Look at this run. Kevin Turner, the fullback, who I don't think ran from scrimmage once in the preseason. They indicated yesterday he was going to see the ball, and he breaks ahead for a 20-yard gain and a first down, tackled by Jay Bellamy.
Ray Roach said that they didn't have a single fullback play. Now look how quickly this play bust open. I mean, this is just good blocking at the point of attack. Once again, it's the two big linemen, Bubba Miller, Ian Beckles, the guys right around center, double teaming, creating space, and Kevin Turner hit that like a bullet.
Now pause on the field with 12:47 to go in the first half. The Seahawks lead the Eagles 14-0 as the NFL on CBS continues. Back at Philadelphia, Bobby Hoying is starting Beasley to generate some run offense, which will help him a lot, and Kevin Turner's been a big part of it.
Really, both of these players. There's Kevin Turner. Turner with 3 carries for 33 yards. He's really done a good job, and the coaches told us that they would get him the ball, and they said it was in their favor that they had not shown any fullback runs in the preseason, and I see what they mean.
Eagle fans, as you saw the banner, needing something to cheer about. Here's a pitch back. Kevin Turner, a hard running back from Alabama, takes it across the 45-yard line on a first down carry, and the Eagles are finding a way to run the ball as he's ahead for a gain of 10 yards. Stopped by the strong safety Jay Bellamy.
Boy, this is just a real good job. He gets Deuce Staley out in front of him for Deuce took down 5 or 6 people.
Bellamy was really an improved player. They think he's a top safety. Free agent acquisition from nearby Rutgers. Hey, Bellamy makes a hard hit, but he does it 10 yards downfield. Eagles drive on. You remember this drive started inside their own 5. Throw in Hoying on a timing pattern, going to Irving Fryer, his best receiver for the first time. But Matt LeBounty, another of those speed pass rushers, this guy from Oregon, was in his face.
Well, the reason they turned on Ricky Waters in this town is he refused to stretch out for a ball over the middle. Well, look at what Irving Fryer does. That's over the middle, the most dangerous area in football, and he fully, at his age, elevates himself. 15 years in the league.
Yeah, he's been better since he's been 30. He's caught far more balls since he's been 30 than he did before age 30. And off, and Kevin Turner runs. Hoying not throwing the ball well at all so far today.
Well, he's 3 for 7, Bobby Hoying, for only 15 yards and the one really bad interception. The good news is that he threw his last completion was thrown with confidence, on time, you know, timing route, 3-step drop, boom, ball out of his hand, hit his receiver right there, Jeff Graham, on stride. So that's the good news.
He's got to do that. He's got to make it happen fast, because this Seattle front 4, they come fast, and they come with blitzers like Chad Brown, and they'll be doing it now, it looks like, on 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. Hoying stands in, lofts a long ball, up for grabs. Incomplete to Fred Solomon down at the 6-yard line. Almost a perfect play. That was a beautifully thrown ball, but so was the coverage by 24 Sean Springs, who scored the first touchdown of the day on the interception return.
Well,
Darrell Williams right with him.
Not only did Bobby Hoying make a real nice throw on this play, he has to stand in and basically get murdered in order to do it. He lets it go, and then it's bam, like a splat right in the face, right down on that hip bone. But boy, he made a pretty good throw there. Freddie actually had a chance to pull that one in.
He did. Now the punt hit downfield. Tommy Hutton, a high spinning kick that'll carry him out of bounds. Looks like it'll be inside the 20-yard line. So with 11:08 to play in the first half, the Seahawks continue to lead the game 14-0. Good day to break a sweat in Philadelphia. Temperature in the 80s. On the field, much higher than that. Seahawks have been hot. First quarter, they scored 14 to lead 14-0. Bootleg by Warren Moon. He doesn't like to run. And he wisely steps out of bounds, soon to be 42 years old. And the Eagles' game plan, as we know, Beasley, was to hit Warren Moon as often as they could.
You know, Warren Moon looked pretty fast getting out of bounds.
Yeah.
You can be fast when you need to be fast. Now, the defense talked about it, you know, not maliciously, but openly saying that a quarterback this age, we have to hit him. They haven't hit him yet, but that's the game plan. The game plan is to put some shots on Warren, let him know he's in a football game. And so far, Philadelphia's defensive line and linebackers have not been able to get that done.
Maybe his #1 attribute is he's smart. He can't fool Warren Moon. Here he makes another throw and a catch. This one is swung out of the backfield. And the catch is to Max Strong, his fullback, out about to the 22-yard line.
Well, we just talked about it. We said that, you know, the defense wants to hit this guy every time they can. There's a little glancer. You know, you get him to roll on his neck at 40-plus years old. That neck might stiffen up in the third quarter. So that's what they're trying to do. But it's hard to hit Warren Moon because he gets rid of the ball so quickly.
So quick. He asked Warren Moon what's the secret to his success. This is his 21st season in professional football, his 15th in the NFL. He said, I don't know. I've been doing the same things for all these years and getting the same results. I'll just keep doing them year by year. They got some great ones.
They got some that are hilarious.
Great new season coming up on CBS. Warren Moon fires a strike for a first down. On 3rd down and 5, he guns a ball to Mike Pritchard, who caught 64 last year. An 11-yard gain and a first down.
And see, this is the perfect example of having the confidence to throw to the spot, knowing where your receiver is going to be. This ball is gone before Pritchard even turns around. So when he turns, he's got time to catch it, spin, and protect himself.
Guys, the Nolan Ryan of football, throwing fastballs all these years. Ricky Waters runs the ball on first down, and he gets a couple. Big Hollis Thomas knocks him down. Guy that Ray Rhodes says might be 6 feet tall, but he does know he weighs over 300 pounds.
Take a look at what is Chicago trying to do, leading Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's going to be one of the top teams in the league. Cincinnati surprising, folks. Redskins over the Giants. Green Bay's doing that Green Bay thing. Boy, Minnesota's going to be tough.
They're tremendous. John Harris, the #1 draft choice a year ago, stands up Ricky Waters, knocks him back. First down carry. Second down carry. Now be 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Seahawks. The ball position at their 36-yard line. Waters now has run the ball 6 times for 23 yards.
Boy, early in this game, it looked like it was going to be the Ricky Waters show. It looked like they were just going to feed him on every play. It's kind of settled into more of a balanced attack from Seattle.
Here's Warren Moon from the shotgun. All-out blitz. He stands in. Look at the throw to McKnight. What a thing of beauty. Warren Moon with an absolutely brilliantly thrown ball. Ray Rhodes said there's nobody in the National Football League that throws the ball better than Warren Moon. That was the best we've seen, a 29-yarder.
Let me tell you something. If Dawkins was healthy, he would have literally killed that kid. I mean, you can't go juggling the ball through the middle of a defensive secondary. But Dawkins has a sore knee. There's Rossen on the coverage. That's not bad. It's a zone. He's on the outside. The safety is supposed to make the hit on that post play.
Fake reverse. Ricky Waters head down. Doesn't get a whole lot. He does advance the ball inside the Eagles' 35-yard line, where Rhett Hall, number 97, makes the stop.
That's the second time we have seen them fake the reverse to Joey Galloway. Now, you and I did a game years ago where Joey Galloway took the reverse. They stopped it. He reversed the reverse and went about 60. So it's a play that's in their playbook. At some point, they may actually hand that ball to Joey.
He actually ran about 100. The touchdown was measured at 60. Here's Waters inside the tackles, landing ahead. Hollis Thomas stops him. Ricky Waters has a tattoo on his arm that says thoroughbred. He's engaged to a law student ready to take her bar exam.
Smart.
Catherine Chang, who says Ricky's the greatest person she's ever known. Well, and a lot of kids around Seattle say that because he stands out for over an hour after practice when it's 100 degrees signing autographs. But then there's the other side. When he had no problems his third year in Philadelphia. It was his second year he was critical of Rhodes, and particularly the offensive coordinator then, John Gruden. Warren Moon buys some time. Running out of time. He lets it fly. Downfield it goes. And they're waving it off, saying Waters was out of bounds, and he almost got flagged there as he slammed the ball down.
See, and you can't tell me that this guy has been playing this long, Warren Moon. I mean, did you see the escapability? That's a word that football people make up. I mean, just he gets out of the pocket, he runs around long enough to at least have an opportunity to make a completion. I'll tell you, it's an amazing story of longevity.
Well, his first pro season was 1978.
Hey, Jeff.
That was in Edmonton, Canada, where he led the Edmonton Oilers to 5 Grey Cup championships. He'd had a great 1978. On January 1st of 78, he led the Washington Huskies to a victory over Michigan in the Rose Bowl, and Warren was MVP.
I'll tell you one thing that might be of particular interest to Philadelphia fans. He personally took part in the recruitment of Ricky Waters.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still fourth
Going
down.
to Seattle.
Oh, yeah. He felt like that was important for him as a quarterback to have a running back like Ricky, and he's taken him under his wing since Ricky has been with the Seahawks.
Now a penalty, procedure penalty against the Seahawks, sets them back 5 yards and sends punter Jeff Fiegels out of the playing field. They call him a great directional punter. We'll see as he angles it near sideline, and the ball is down. Look at this special teams play. Wow. That was
it was in. They called it. What do they call it?
Now he's waving a touchback.
Yeah, it's touchback. Yeah. See, I thought his body was on the line of scrimmage.
There's Pete Rodriguez. What a story he is. Grew up in the slums of Chicago. Has 2 master's degrees.
Touched the goal line while he was in contact
Worked
with
himself
the ball.
up, and
That's
he
a
is the
touchback.
preeminent special teams coach many feel in the National Football League, and he's made a difference in Seattle already. He also carries the title of assistant head coach. So the Eagles get it when the NFL on CBS continues. Back to the vet. Bobby Hoying ready to fire on first down. Gets some time. Makes the throw. And Sean Springs, with a Pro Bowl quality play, leans in and knocks it down. Troy Vincent, now we're told, the best cornerback of those that were in the lineup at the start of the day. He's out now with an injury.
See, this is devastating there. Here's a look at him, and we're trying to figure out where he pulled the quad. This is a play where he came up and made a tackle by himself, collapsed a little bit at the end of it, and then right after the play, he stumbled just a little bit. You see him there, and this is unbelievable. So Bobby Taylor is out. Troy Vincent is out. They've got Al Harris, who's been with the team like 2 days.
And here's a swing pass to Kevin Turner, and he's running hard, and Kevin Turner is out close to a first down. On 2nd and 10, he gets ahead for over 9 yards. Out to the 29-yard line. Stopped by Darren Smith, the ex-Eagle, and by Michael Sinclair. Game clock down to 5:50 to play in the first half and running.
Well, Dana Bible is the new offensive coordinator here with this team, and he took a lot of heat in preseason because of what looked to be a lack of imagination on offense, but he told me exactly what he was going to do today. They have had some success running the ball, and that's a nice little screen out there to Kevin Turner. The scores came from big mistakes by this football team. They are creating some offense.
They are. They're running the ball so much better than they did in the preseason. Beasley is the sports director of the CBS affiliate KYW here in Philadelphia, and is a lifelong friend of Ray Rhodes. You were left corner, he was right corner with the Giants. You were high school stars together in Texas. You really wonder if he's a lame duck coach. A lot of people think no matter what they do that Ray Rhodes might not be back.
The tide against him feels like it's overwhelming. You get the sense that ownership is kind of not really doing things to help him out, leaving him dangling out there. You get the sense that the fans are ready to see a change. So they'll have to win some games and come up with some stuff for him to save his job.
Well, the Eagle fans, as they call themselves, they take it hard when the Birds aren't doing well.
I have never seen more passionate fans. And when they're passionate, upset with you, you're in trouble. And if they love you, my goodness gracious. So right now, Ray Rhodes is in that, he's in no man's land. You know, some people feel like it's not really his fault what has happened here. Some people feel like he should be attacked and taken outside and whipped.
Here is a stand-up tackle. Deuce Staley looking for that gap up the middle. It's been there a few times earlier, but he gets popped by Chad Brown. Got him. Darren Smith got him. 59. And the door is slammed hard on the Deuce Staley.
Well, this is one of those times where, you know, I've been congratulating the offensive line of the Eagles for getting a few things done. That time they left the linebacker all alone. I mean, they had no idea where he was coming from and what he was going to be doing. And Darren just came blowing up. Now, Darren is a former Eagle.
Yes, he is.
He
former
played
Cowboy also.
Yeah.
4 wide receiver set. Hoying doesn't have much time, that he makes the perfect throw to Solomon, and he's ahead for the first down. Well done by young Bobby Hoying and the Eagles. An over the middle throw, good for 13 yards and a first down for Philadelphia. Tackled by Mark Collins.
This is another well-timed throw by Bobby Hoying. So maybe it was just nervousness early in this football game. You see how he hits the back step? He throws that ball and leads Freddie perfectly. Freddie, catching a pass over the middle, took his eye off the ball and almost dropped the thing. But, you know, he caught it on the second catch here. Looking to get hit time, he caught it. But that's a good throw by Bobby Hoying.
You were talking earlier, Beasley, when a guy bobbles the ball in the middle of the field, it can be lights out with that hit that's coming. Here's a throw to Deuce Staley, and look at Deuce put on some moves and get across midfield and down to the 47-yard line.
Bobby Hoying is starting to have a little strut to himself now. This time, watch, he finds another player. He wanted Irving Fryer on the right side. He wasn't there. Found Deuce on the complete other side of the football field. Now that's impressive.
Now the Eagles, the strong suit of their team, if there is one at this point, is certainly defense. But if you can't score, you can't win in this league or any other. So they need points. Down 14-0 in the first half. Now they're running play and more productive, positive yardage straight ahead. Gain by Deuce Staley. Down close to the 43-yard line.
Now this is going to sound weird, Don, but you know my philosophy on this. Deuce Staley is one of he's got one of those body styles, bow-legged, pigeon-toed. These guys can cut on a dime, and that's what we're seeing from Deuce.
Well, the Deuce has been getting some yards, and so has his backfield mate Kevin Turner, but so far no points for the Eagles as the NFL on CBS continues. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, join Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert for all the scores and highlights. Plus, Phil Simms and Greg Gumbel preview the Jets 49ers matchup. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report.
I was with Brent Jones in Dallas a few weeks ago. What a funny young man. You got to check him out at halftime. Super kid.
Opening day, he had some great moments with the 49ers. I think on 4 Super Bowl championship teams there was Brent. Eagles go back to the run on 3rd and short, and they get ahead for a first down. So time's a factor now. We're down to 1:45 in the half.
Now, see, that was the bow-legged pigeon-toed thing. A man with straight legs can't make that cut. Don, you couldn't make that cut.
I could not make that cut if I had bowed legs.
Your legs are too straight.
I could have picked off that one Springs got, though.
Yeah.
To open the scoring, here is Hoying, and he is swept under, taken down back at the 44-yard line. That's the 3rd time the Seahawks have sacked Bobby Hoying. Tickets are available for the Seahawks home opener at the Kingdome next Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. And if I was a Seahawks fan out there, I'd be buying tickets to watch these guys. They're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah. Don't jump on the bandwagon late out there, because that team in Seattle is stacked. And also that Arizona team's got some big name boys in there that you can go see.
Well, they signed Andre Wadsworth yesterday, their top draft choice, 3rd pick in the draft, and
huge.
He's going to be going in there rushing the passer.
Now back to this game. It's very important that the Philadelphia Eagles get this ball at least in field goal range and get some money,
get something, yeah,
before they go to the locker room. Something to talk positive about and build on for the football team, just to get back and make this a competitive outing today. So this next couple of plays, this is big.
Bobby Hoying sets up at quarterback after the sack. It brings up 2nd down and 14. Here comes the blitz, and Hoying grounds the ball, and they're flagging him. They say he was out of the pocket.
You got ING, don't you?
He was in the pocket, apparently a straight drop back. We'll see. Might be an illegal forward pass. It's expensive. It's a loss of down play.
That is
10-yard penalty, loss of down.
Steelers and the Ravens locked up 3-all in the second quarter. Minnesota up on Tampa Bay 21-0.
Yeah.
Vikings could be a superpower.
Well, I don't know what the move Bobby was making. I don't understand the move.
Well, I think he's looking like he's going to throw a screen the way he's backpedaling.
No, I think he didn't understand the rule and thought that he could throw it down and just avoid the sack there because he was inside of the pocket. Looked like he threw that straight to the ground like you do when you want to just spike it and stop the clock.
Now a dangerous play. 3rd down, and the Eagles need 26. Another big rush. Hoying steps in, fires on the run. This guy had it and lost it, Irving Fryer. And it would have been way short of a first down. And so now with 1:15 left, Warren Moon and the Seahawk offense is going to get the ball back.
Let him line up now.
And we know that Warren Moon can do some damage if he has just a few seconds.
Chance to match up.
Yeah, this is here's the drop at the end of the play here. I mean, honestly, Irving just took his eye off the ball. First of all, he knows he's in traffic. The ball should not have been thrown that high. But it happens, and when it is thrown that high, you got to go up there and bring it in.
Kerry Joseph is back to punt return now for Seattle. That's it, Hopkins. It looks like it's going to head on in for a touchback. And so with 1:05 to play in the first half, now 1:04, Warren Moon and the Seahawk offense come out. 1st and 10 at their 20, trying to get downfield and get points. That was a 56-yard punt, but 36 net as 20 comes off on the touchback. A doubleheader day on opening day here on CBS. Coming up next, the second game of our doubleheader. Many of you will see Curtis Martin and the Jets battle Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and the 49ers at San Francisco. In some areas, it'll be Marino versus Manning when the Dolphins take on the Colts, or the Buffalo Bills meet sensational rookie from Washington State, Ryan Leaf, and the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings. A doubleheader day on CBS. Rodgers in the backfield, lone back, 3 wideouts. Warren Moon goes to Waters. He finds some room, gets out to the 26-yard line. Bill Johnson was on the stop.
Seattle is very interesting in their offense in that they normally deploy 3 wide receivers and a tight end. And from that formation, you can run the ball as they did there with Ricky Waters. And at the same time, you've got enough receivers in the game where you can pass the ball. They go back to a more traditional 2-back set here.
Waters, you were sporting that Super Bowl ring of Ricky's earlier, Beasley. He scored 3 touchdowns in Super Bowl victory that he was starred in against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I wore the ring most of the morning and was very disappointed. Very disappointed when the PR guys from the Seahawks came to get it from me.
Actually, it was Super Bowl 29, against San Diego. He did it. And he also has the NFL record, does Ricky Waters, of 5 touchdowns in a single NFL playoff game. That now is the end of the first half with the score. Seattle 14, Philadelphia nothing. CBS Sports coverage of the NFL will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Moved out to a 14-0 lead. Don Criqui with Beasley. Reece, actually the Seahawks, if you weren't with us the whole way, got all 14 in the first quarter. And the Eagles didn't break, though. They stayed in the game, but they still have not been close to points.
No, they have created some offense, but made too many mistakes. Here's one of them. A throw by Bobby Hoying that had no zip on it was thrown late. So Sean Springs, their top pick from last year, takes it all the way to the house.
Right to the house indeed. And now Warren Moon lofting a beauty down. This was after they sacked Bobby Hoying, knocked the ball away on a fumble. And then quickly Warren Moon went over the top and got Joey Galloway, who scored 12 touchdowns on pass receptions last year. And then the Eagles did a good job, despite all their injuries, of shutting down the offense of the Seahawks. They got no more consistency, no more long drives. But as we look at the first half numbers, Beasley, anything jump out to you?
Well, the one that always
Yeah.
jumps out for coaches and guys like me is the turnover ratio. You win the turnover ratio 75 to 80% of the time in the National Football League, you win the game. So right now the Eagles are behind the 8 ball when it comes to 2 turnovers, one being the big interception for a touchdown.
And the Seahawks will get the ball to start the third quarter. Ball hit downfield. Broussard is back. This is Steve Broussard. He can fly. Broussard is tripped up. Very good special teams work by the Eagles. As coming down to make the play on special teams was Tim McTire, number 24, who hit people all over the league during the preseason. He really stood out as a big-time hitter on special teams for Philadelphia.
Now a reminder for Philadelphia fans and for fans of the Seattle passing attack, a second cornerback is gone. Troy Vincent out with an injury a few minutes ago. Their other best corner, Bobby Taylor, out for the game. So you got rookies, you got new people. The secondary is a mess right now.
Rigged together with string and Elmer's glue, and here's Galloway, and they hit him on the fly again. Warren Moon lofting the long ball. That time your guy Al Harris, who did make some big plays in the first half, gets burned badly. What a beautiful throw, though. 34 yards.
This ball is high and it drops in right over the shoulder where only the receiver can catch it. And I know this is going to be hard for people to believe at home, but Joey Galloway is jogging. I mean, this guy has afterburners that you have not seen. And another alert, Brian Dawkins is playing. He lined up at left corner on the last play. I mean, this secondary is absolutely in trouble. They just don't have guys to line up out there.
Well, they started the day with 5 starters out, both offense and defense total. And then Troy Vincent went out. It's funny, Troy Vincent was talking to us yesterday about how he loves speed. He drag races motorcycles, but he doesn't like the kind of speed he's seen today from Galloway.
Well, now it's Rossen, the rookie, and the plan is probably to give him safety help over the top, and that's what's happening.
Okay, if you've got a weakness, Warren Moon's going to find it very quickly, and there it is. Pritchard. He really was out of bounds. Pritchard was against Rossen. So it goes as a long incomplete pass.
Well, the good quarterbacks today are mobile. I mean, they can move around enough to find time to at least give themselves a chance to get the pass off. Warren Moon did that. We saw Bobby Hoeing run around a little bit and get himself a little more time. So I'll tell you, that's where the success is in the NFL today. You have to have a quarterback that can move around a little bit.
And Warren Moon, even at age 41, soon to be 42, still has a terrific mobility. He's displayed it all game long today. They're down, needs 6, dumps it up. He's got his man, the super fast Joey Galloway, who is fast and tough as he puts his head down. James Darling, one of the Eagle linebackers, 57, finally got him down. But he did it downfield. It was a first down.
And folks in Seattle who know Joey, he's got that special confidence. I mean, it's not cocky, it's not abrasive. You enjoy it.
Yeah, he's
but boy,
terrific kid.
Terrific young man. But boy, you can just see it with the way he walks. Watch him when he gets up here, just slings that ball back behind him. Just a real confident guy.
18-yard gain on the play. Now flags come down. There was something went awry before the snap of the ball. Look at the scores on opening day passing by. New Orleans, that's maybe one of the bigger surprises.
5-yard penalty.
Many thought the Saints were in disarray, and they go into St. Louis and are blasting Dick Vermeil's Rams. This week, Vermeil had his players on the practice field. They were near revolt for 3-hour practices in 100-degree temperatures. Some players had to be at IVs after the practices, and they come out on opening day and are getting blasted by the underdog New Orleans Saints.
Well, they left it on the practice field.
Yeah. First down and 15. Moon stands in. He tries to dump it off, but he comes in low. Waters is 10 a receiver.
Good ball, Dale.
I tell you, everything that Ricky Waters does in this stadium, there is a reaction. You know, they boo when he drops a ball, if he stumbles, if they hit him hard. I mean, this is an emotional day for Ricky, and it's emotional because there's a lot of Ricky Watters fans in the stands right now.
Well, look what he did with the Eagles. He was with them 95, 96, and 97. Rushed for over 1,000 yards each year. Caught a total of 161 passes. Averaged over 9 rushing touchdowns a year. He just gives you so much. Now Warren Moon on second down sees something he doesn't like on a 2nd and 15 play. Calls a timeout. Break on the field. Seahawks moving the ball and leading 14-0. And we're back to the vet in Philadelphia. 2nd down and 15 coming up for Warren Moon and the Seahawks. Draw play. Watters caught and dropped. Big play by Hugh Douglas, the defensive end.
Well, I was about, I wrote it down on a card to remind myself to mention the fact that we haven't called Hugh Douglas's name all game long. So Hugh beat me to the punch. He must know that I was about to throw a couple of knives at him, but he makes a real nice play there. He's the big money guy on this football team. Signed a 6-year contract worth millions of dollars. They got to get more than a shoestring tackle out of him for that type of money.
Now let's see what Warren Moon can get out of 3rd down. He fires downfield and the ball is taken in. Is it caught? Galloway has the ball. What a play by Joey Galloway. Off the turf. The officials confer and they say yes, caught it.
Yeah, he caught it.
A 20-yard gain and a 1st down on 3rd and 15.
This is a great throw and a great catch. There's nothing else to say about it. Look at that. His entire body is underneath that ball. That's in traffic. What can you say? Joey Galloway is the best athlete in the stadium. Not just on the football field. There's nobody in the stands.
Well, he's caught 5 passes a day for 107 yards and a touchdown. Ricky Watters taking it his old mates, the Eagles, and he hits hard down close to the 10-yard line. Big Hollis Thomas. Big guy from Northern Illinois. Loves to eat, does Hollis.
Hollis has to be weighed every day. You can see that body style. They weigh him every day. He came into practice one day with a plate the size of a platter. It was a cake in it. He told Ray Rhodes, he said, I wanted to share it with the team. Well, Ray instantly in his mind said, oh, he ate one before he got here because big people don't share food. So Ray said big people don't, they'll pick up your kid from the daycare, but they don't share food.
Throwing a catch, and Max Strong is in the end zone on an absolutely beautiful play by the Seahawks. A 10-yard play and a touchdown. Boy, these guys are good. And we were saying it long before this game began. This team is without a weakness. Here's Warren Moon. They signed him last year to be a backup. Freeze went down in the first game with a fractured thumb. Warren Moon leads the Seahawks to the best pass offense in the NFL, and he ends up MVP in the Pro Bowl at age 41.
He found man-for-man coverage with the linebacker. That's all he was looking for. He got Mack one-on-one with James Darling. When Mack got the inside position, with Warren Moon, the throw is going to be on target, and there it was for a touchdown.
Extra point is hit up and good by Todd Peterson. Moon now 9 of 16 throwing the ball for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Seahawks on the road build their lead to 21-0. But Beasley Reece back at the vet in Philadelphia, where Warren Moon has thrown his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. The first to Galloway, the second to his fullback Max Strong. And the Seahawks have taken command 21-0. There's Bobby Hoying. When Warren Moon started out as a pro back in 1978, Bobby Hoying was all of 5 years old. As the ball is hit long downfield to Allen Rossen, he gets his first return of the day. Rossen finds a gap and then ducks down. He's only 5'8". Warren Moon, when he left UW after leading them to the Rose Bowl victory over Michigan, he went up to Canada and he quickly led the Edmonton Eskimos to Grey Cup championships, 5 of them. Here he is firing away in the '82 Grey Cup championship game. Bobby Hoying, just a little guy in St. Henry, Ohio, back in 1982 in the 4th grade. And now he's in the big leagues along with Warren.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
And you know what? Basically, Bobby is still getting schooled by the old wily veteran there, but there's a lot he can learn from watching this guy throw the ball on time. Timing throws.
He's as good or better than he's ever been, Warren Moon. Now Hoying is in Timing is off, and the Eagle fans start to jump on Bobby Hoying.
Well, you can't do that. I mean, it's hot, and you know the hand's wet, but it's wet for Moon, and it's wet for everybody else in the league in early September when it's hot and sweaty. But one thing they know Bobby Hoying can throw the football. That was just something that happened.
He's got a Bible, but not a prayer. Dana Bible is the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. First year here. Hoying fires and makes a short. No, it's dropped at the 29-yard line, and the boos start cascading down. Ironically, the first touchdown of the game was thrown when Bobby Hoying was intercepted by his former Ohio State teammate Sean Springs and run back 41 yards.
And you know, I asked him in the meeting with him yesterday, what is it practicing against Sean those years? What does he bite on? You know, what do you? And he kind of grinned slyly, like, you know, like he knew something.
No,
as it turns out, he didn't know anything. Sean knew something.
He knew he put one in the air. He'd love to have a string on it.
Oh
pull
boy,
it
he
back.
wanted to pull that baby back.
They're down in 10. Here comes the blitz. Hoying stands in, and there's Sinclair with a rocket tackle. Mike Sinclair to 2 straight Pro Bowls, and the Seahawk defense 5th sack of the day. We were talking about Sinclair earlier. He was so ready for this game. He kept talking about how big this game was. Big game was his term he kept using.
What I like about Michael, he understands history. He knows that the history of the Seattle team is, even though they look good, they get off to these slow starts and then try to come battling back to make a respectable season out of it. So he recognizes that, and he talks to these guys a lot about getting off to a good start, and so far they have done just that. He also, Don, had the nerve to talk about Super Bowl with this football team.
Yeah, he did.
Openly said, we can go to the Super Bowl.
As he put it, why not us? We've got everything you have to have. The NFL on CBS continues in a moment.
This is Bobby Hoying getting some instruction from his quarterback coach, Sean Payton. As Sean played in the league, played the National Football League. So, you know, you can't have a better coach than the guy who's actually stood in that pocket and been rushed and been knocked in the head by guys like that guy right there, big Michael Sinclair. So, you know, it's all part of a learning process. And he can also learn by sitting and watching, or standing very close to the sideline and watching 41-year-old Warren Moon, who has literally been flawless.
Absolutely brilliant performance again by Warren Moon. Mike Sinclair, he was kidding Cortez Kennedy yesterday. Cortez had a street named after him in his hotel in his hometown of Wilson, Arkansas, called Cortez Kennedy Boulevard. But Sinclair's it's only 3 blocks long, and Ricky Waters just runs for about 3 blocks on first down and gets the ball inside the 30. They give him 16 yards on the carry and a first down. Zordich on the tackle as the Eagles appear to be a broken team right now.
Well, this one goes to the blocking scheme. Look at this. That's a hole the size you can run one of those new Volkswagens through there. Ricky hits it hard, and then at the end of the play, he does a classic Ricky thing, just runs over the guy in front of him.
Building his numbers methodically. 14 carries for Waters, 61 yards. Long ball, wide open man. It's embarrassing at this point, as nobody covered Joey Galloway.
It's just a broken coverage. 2 defensive backs looking at each other. That should never happen. Now, you know, you understand that Al Harris has been on this team for about 2 days. So what can we say about Al Harris? He's made some good plays. It was a good pickup for the Eagles. But, I mean, you can't bust plays. This is Al Harris right here. And he lets him go to the inside. He thinks he's got help back here, but he's got no help. There's nobody back there. Late, here comes the safety late coming over. But apparently, according to Brian Dawkins, number 20, he didn't have that area. So a clear blown coverage by the Eagles.
Yet another Ohio State standout, Galloway, with absolutely spectacular numbers. He's caught 6 passes today for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's 28-0 Seahawks. Seahawks have built their lead to 28-0 with 8:54 to play in the 3rd quarter, as Warren Moon's brilliant passing day continues against a defense just unable to contend with the wide receiver speed. Galloway with 2 touchdown catches, 141 receiving yards. And opening day it may be, but already the long season is well underway for Ray Rhodes and his Eagles, as the kickoff is boomed through the end zone for a touchback, and the Eagles will start at their 20. Now they get some more counsel to Bobby Hoying. What can you tell a guy at this point? Don't get knocked into the hospital, because these Seahawks have a pass rush that's fierce.
Well, the problem is Seattle knows that Bobby's got a pass. Look, he sacked 5 times, hurried 5, knocked down 5 times, intercepted once, forced a fumble 1 time. He's 6 for 16, 44 yards in interception, and lost 23 yards in sack money.
Greg McMackin, D coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Bradkowski, their offensive coordinator, as Deuce Staley tries to go wide. And right now the Seahawk defense on this hot day in a feeding frenzy. Darren Smith, the former Eagle, who missed so many games. He actually missed 9 games last year with an ankle injury as a Philadelphia Eagle, back in good health. Ennis Erickson loved his speed at the University of Miami in Florida. There's the coordinator, McMackin. His Big D is pitching a shutout here at the Vet.
Well, he talked about having a more attacking style defense, and once you get a team in predictable situations, you can do that. And the Eagles are in a predictable situation. To catch up, they've got to put the ball in the air.
Dump pass over the middle to Jeff Graham, and he's ahead for a short gain. And the cheers really are derisive now as the Philadelphia fans kind of kick back on this sunny day. Sold out stadium. Minnesota continues to dominate Tampa Bay. Atlanta on the road, leading Carolina at the half.
There's one of the surprises, although those 2 teams, you know, those are 2 teams expected to be down at the bottom, but New Orleans, you know, they are surprising people. They could have a little something working down there in Cajun country.
Bobby Hoying, a deer in headlights. He can't find anybody downfield. All he sees is a wave of blue sweeping in to sack him for a 6th time. Darren Smith led the charge. Well, in Philadelphia, the pressure builds on Ray Rhodes, who was an NFL Coach of the Year his first year with the Eagles in 1995. At a 10-16, they beat Detroit in the playoffs. Another 10-6 year, his second season in '96, went to the playoffs. And then last year they were 6-9-1, and this year who knows. It looks though like next April they'll draft high. Ball punted downfield. Coming up on the ball is Kerry Joseph, showing good hands. Ray Rhodes worked Kerry Joseph out as a quarterback, and he said one of the strongest arms he ever saw.
They switched him to defensive safety after some work in the World League, and boy, they say he's just a super athlete that can play any position, and that's where they're training him to.
For the first time on television, CBS presents the Jagathon. 5 nights in a row of Jag, TV's fastest growing drama. Jagathon kicks off this Tuesday here on CBS. The address to CBS on opening day of the NFL as the handoff goes straight up the middle of the field down to the 45-yard line. A carry of just 3 yards by Max Strong. As with 6:35 to play in the 3rd quarter, the Eagles are now in their clock running offense. The Seahawks are.
Yeah, the Eagles are in their 8-man front, trying to make sure that they can stop the run and keep them from just feeding Ricky Waters, because now Seattle can afford to just get Ricky 100 yards just for the heck of it.
And they have tremendous backups to Waters. Look at him shoot through the gap. That's how low he gets. That stutter step, Beasley.
It is that, and when he comes into the secondary, you know, he's bigger than most defensive backs, so that's why he's so healthy all the time. You know, he finds his way through the line by cutting back, you know, just good recognition. That's what veteran backs can do. They can find the hole, even though it's not the intended hole. They can find one beyond it or behind it, and that's what Ricky does very, very well.
Ricky's up to 69 yards rushing on 16 carries. 3rd and short. Waters again. Good defensive hit. Filling the gap was the middle linebacker James Willis, a 6th-year player out of Auburn. Beat the block, made the stop, and the punt unit comes out now.
James Willis is one of the best players on this football team, and William Thomas, a real good linebacker. So there's some, there's some spots on this Eagles team that needs no mending. Linebackers would be one, but that secondary is an absolute mess.
And
Everyone
the offense has not been within, the Eagle offense has not been within shouting distance of the Seahawk end zone today. It's 28-0 and nothing even close to a score for Philadelphia. 4:48 left to play in the third quarter. Dennis Erickson in his fourth year. He was under fire last year. In fact, a lot of assistant coaches felt they were gone.
Offense.
Paul
5
Allen,
yards. Still
the new owner of the Seahawks. Bob Whitsitt, the general manager. They looked at what he did. 3rd in offense, 8th in defense, bad special teams. It's not Erickson. Let's fix the special teams. And they did, bring in Pete Rodriguez. And I'll tell you one thing, this Seahawk team has got the whole package. Offense, defense, speed, special teams, and Warren Moon, and now Ricky Waters. Punt hit downfield. Look at these guys.
That was excellent.
It's unbelievable. Last year during one 6-game stretch, the Seahawks special teams made mistakes that accounted for 72 points by the opponents over 6 games.
That's an amazing play.
Against Peyton Manning when the Dolphins take on the Colts in Indianapolis, or the Buffalo Bills meet the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings. Hoying and the Eagles offense up against it now, looking for room as they're almost locked in their end zone, starting out from the 1-yard line, and another special teams standout play. Special teams Beasley becoming one of the strengths of the Seahawks team now.
Number 88, half the distance to the goal, still first.
And a motion penalty as Ray Rhodes sees a bad situation get worse.
Ricky Waters' return has been pleasurable for Mr. Waters.
They got to worry about a safety here. I mean, they don't. Nose of the ball is inching on the end zone. Handoff. Deuce Staley does work his way out. Gets to about the 3-yard line. Tackle on the play by Chad Brown. Where does this team go, Beasley? One of the problems has been since '95 there has been really a load of talent has left and it's not been replaced. The Eagles have lost player quality.
And really only the last 2 #1 draft choices are kind of factoring in what's going on here. The drafting has been questionable. That's a great run by Deuce Staley there. That's what he can do.
Deuce still with some fight left in him. Working hard. Yeah, but since '95 their player talent level has dropped, and they've one of the problems that they addressed, and they have not drafted well. They've in the last 13 drafts, 7 of their 13 first-round picks were offensive tackles, and only one of them's been any good. The guy they got out there now, Trey Thomas.
Yeah, they finally got it right. This kid's good, and he's going to be good for a long time. But you just can't afford to make those kind of mistakes in football.
There are the draft picks, and who are these guys? These are first-round draft picks of the Eagles dating back to 1990.
Yeah, it just makes you say, where is this guy? Who is this guy? Just as you go down the list, there are guys that should be stars on this team now. Since 1990, this guy should be an 8-year pro who's been a staple of the offense of the team.
There's big Trey Thomas, a 6'7", 320-pound offensive tackle from Florida State. The #1 pick this year. Bobby Hoying against the blitz. Has to let her fly off the back foot, and he's not close. That's an assistant coach. Meanwhile, Seattle has done a great job with personnel. They have added to an already good team. Chad Brown came. First team All-Pro player in '96.
That cost money, and they spent it.
Joined the Seahawks in '97. Moon came in, was a Pro Bowl MVP. Sally Amua. This year, Kevin Glover's the center, a 3-time Pro Bowl player with Detroit. Brian Habib, the right guard's a terrific player. He said this Seahawk team is every bit as good as the Denver Bronco team he was on last January that won the Super Bowl. Habib says the Seahawks will go as far as they want to go.
Deuce turned his head around, had people in front of him, turned his face off the ball before he started running.
But Deuce Beasley has done a job. He's got 57 yards rushing. Obviously, he did look away. But he is definitely the best Eagle on offense today.
No, I certainly can't argue with that. Trey Thomas has not been bad. He's held his people off. I mean, actually, the guard and center play for the Eagles has not been bad today.
Gary Joseph up the middle of the field. He's tripped up as he almost took it the distance. Coming down to get carry was Michael Zordich, the veteran safety out of Penn State. He saved a touchdown, if but for the moment, as we're down to 2:22 to play in the third quarter.
Well, he saw something done. I'll tell you where he saw it. Right there. As soon as he saw that hole, man, that kid hit it flying. Pick up his feet a little bit more, and there's no telling what might have happened there. That's a super return.
Rod Woodson, one of the great kick returners. I asked him one time, what's the key to being a good kick returner? You were very good at it, Beasley. He said, as soon as you get it, you run straight ahead as fast as you can go. Don't wait for things to develop, because they'll flatten you back there. First down. Warren Moon swings it out. Another easy lead pass. And here is a player to watch on the field. Amon Green, the rookie from Nebraska, scored 42 touchdowns for the Huskers. Amon Green led all players in the National Football League in rushing in the preseason.
Coach Erickson said we would see him, and he also said that he is going to be a major star in the National Football League. He said it's a steal. Guys drafted in the third round. It's a steal of the draft, some people might be saying.
He said he was a first rounder, and that's what I would have taken if I had to do over. Moon on second down, fires in. Look at the catch there as Christian Fourier, his big tight end from Colorado, who's played so much improved football during the preseason, makes a diving grab at the ball.
One of the plans that has not come to pass, one of the many, judging by the score, for the Eagles today was the plan to hit Warren Moon.
Yeah, he's eluded that with that footwork you were talking about.
They hit him one time today, and we showed a replay of that hit.
He's just too wily. You can't do anything. You send all these blitzes at him.
No.
We asked Warren yesterday. He said, you know, this great career, all the championships in Canada, now in his 21st pro season, his 15th in the NFL. I said, what are you most proud of? What pleases you most? He said, I guess consistency. He said, I've been doing the same thing for a lot of years and getting the same results. And he also said one of the keys to being consistent is not getting too high or too low.
No matter what happens, if he throws 4 touchdowns, he walks into the locker room feeling the same way that he would feel if he threw 4 interceptions, and he thinks that's a real key for him.
Now the field goal try is hit up and down the middle. Todd Peterson, who scored 100 points or more the last 3 seasons at Seattle, gets his first field goal of the new season. And the Seahawks pour it on as they build a 31-0 lead with 25 seconds to play in the third quarter. And as Erickson saying to himself, boys, going to start the bus.
Well, the Eagles are walking off the
CBS. Whole lot going on CBS on this opening weekend. College football, the NFL opening day, U.S. Open tennis.
New programs being introduced.
And the Seahawks ready to head back to Seattle, having allayed a lot of the fears of Dennis Erickson on opening day. Blasted last year when they were favored. Today they are the blaster, not the blastee, leading 31-0. They open at home next week against Arizona, and tickets are available. As Allen Rossen downs the ball in the end zone, it'll come out to the 20. Another thing talking about Warren Moon, Beasley, was interesting. He said his dad died early in his life and he had to assume a lot of responsibility, and he thinks that's helped him a lot carry over, because the players all talk about the confidence level they have in the huddle when he just opens his mouth. He said, you know, what he's calling is the right thing, what he's going to do is going to be the right thing. You just have to do your job and things will work.
Well, you know what, he's the age of some of the parents of some of these players. I mean, he played against Sean Spring's daddy, Ron.
That's
Springs.
right.
So it's like talking to your dad or your older brother.
Yeah, he said he's the same age as Ahman Green's dad. Sinclair comes through again. Mike Sinclair had his game face on yesterday, and he didn't lose it. As he continues to pour the heat on young Bobby Hoying.
You know, I asked Michael after he talked all of that trash yesterday. He's at the top of your screen up here, coming around, working with Cooper, fighting him. And Cooper did a pretty good job, but he didn't know where Bobby was going. And when Bobby ran out of the pocket, he ran right to Mike Sinclair.
And that is the end of the third quarter with the score Seattle 31, Philadelphia nothing. Will return to Veterans Stadium after these messages and a word from your local station. 141 yards receiving as the Eagles go to the run and get the ball out to the 25-yard line. He liked to do in his free time. Said he likes to draw. You said, then you're an artist. He says, no, artists get paid. He said, I'll draw you. It'll be free.
And now he says he can draw a portrait. He can take a picture of a person and draw a portrait where, you know, the guy sitting next to you would say, oh, that's you. And, you know, if you can draw a portrait, you can draw anything.
But to be an artist, you can't be a starving artist.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to be a millionaire receiver. It's better. 9th 100-yard reception day of his career. This is his 4th year in the league, Joey Galloway, as Sinclair again puts heat on Hoying. They just can't block Michael Sinclair. Joey Galloway saying what it meant to play with Warren Moon, what he means to the team as a leader. I mean, they're deep in every area. John Freese is a good quarterback. John Kitten is a good quarterback. He's the 3rd guy. This is a team loaded with talent, Seattle. They could be tremendous this year. Gary Joseph steps out of bounds. The NFL on CBS continues in a moment.
There's Joey Galloway, and Joey Galloway, not the first great receiver that this organization has seen. One guy that I played against forever, number 80, Steve Largen, basically ran me out of college football and ran me out of pro football. And this guy is following suit.
Steve Largen out of Tulsa Golden Hurricane, now in the U.S. Congress. There's Largen. If he ever dropped a ball, nobody saw it.
I loved him. He never dropped one on me. I played against him in college. He was at Tulsa. I was at North Texas. Then when he was at Seattle, played against him for years. He killed me every meeting. And this guy has better numbers.
Well, maybe Joey Galloway is headed to the Hall of Fame one day along with Largen and Warren Moon. And look at this run up the middle. That's Ahman Green. He won't say no. They fight him down at the 5-yard line, but Ahman Green, the rookie from Nebraska, who was the equal of Ricky Waters in preseason play, breaks off a huge run from scrimmage of 67 yards.
Dennis Erickson told us we would see the guy. He said that this guy is going to be a star in the National Football League, and you're seeing it here first. That's his first major break in what will be a great career if he's lucky enough to stay healthy and get all the right opportunities. This guy led the league in preseason with 378 all-purpose yards.
He was a sprint champion in high school. He's a tremendous player. And now he's looking at the end zone and getting close, and he goes in. There the Seahawks continue to bang away over the top, on the ground. Every way you can move the ball, they've done it, and they've done it into the end zone as they built the lead now to 37-0.
Too many Philadelphia Eagles standing up on that play. And if I saw every white jersey scratching with a piece of jersey skin underneath the fingernails, you know, I'm not one to say that a team is about to give up, but I'm getting real suspicious. Well, Too many guys standing up on that play after a guy runs into the end zone.
Yeah, there was nobody on the ground as Green just worked his way through the defense. And it is 38-0 as the NFL on CBS continues. Ahman Green on the bench after scoring his first NFL touchdown. Here's Todd Peterson to kick off again. He's breaking a sweat today with the extra point. One field goal. Booms a kick down. Here comes Corey Walker. Walker across the 15-yard line in the special teams excellence of the Seahawks. Their downfall in games last year continues. Ricky Watters averaging 3.9 a carry. He's got 66 yards on 17 carries. John Freeze coming in now. He was the starter last year, as all the Seahawks fans remember. Broke his thumb on his passing hand. Hit a helmet against the Jets in the first quarter. In came Warren Moon. They didn't win that day, but Moon went on to lead the Seahawks to the best pass offense in the National Football League.
Well, this is the time that you want to play defensive back or defensive lineman in the National Football League, when you know that a team has got to do some crazy things to get back in the game. That's where you build your stats. And there's one stats right there for Mr. Adams.
That's the 8th sack, and it's not a happy story. Bobby Hoying standing tall. He stays in. At that time, Sam Adams got him. Ray Rhodes has been a top defensive coordinator and a Super Bowl winner at San Francisco. Coach of the year in the NFL in '95 here at Philadelphia. But off this performance and off the dismal preseason performance, some speculate this was going to be Ray's last year here. Was this his last game here? I mean, does the owner start to review the whole situation today? Jeff Lurie.
Well, I get the sense that the ownership has already kind of moved in another direction. I certainly had the sense that Ray would finish out the season. And I also considered that this is a possibility, that this would happen today. You know, this type of a loss to a very, very good Seattle team, considering what I saw in preseason.
Personal foul
with the
on the
Philadelphia
defense,
Eagles.
number 59, below the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Take another look.
Take a look at the shot here. Ball's gone, and there's a hand to the face. That's automatic. That's absolute automatic. You just don't do that.
Might have been Deshaun Miles, a rookie starting at middle linebacker. Dean Wells with a bad ankle is out today. And that's where they were getting that running yards at. Miles, a first-year starter. That's tough. A 4th-round draft choice from Nevada. First down. Back to Kevin Turner. Nothing happening. Penalty marker is fired in as the Seahawks defense fires off the snap of the ball. They just keep the heat on. Chad Brown, who plays 100 miles an hour and 100-degree temperatures, he was there along with Sam Adams.
5-yard face mask. 97 defense. 5-yard penalty.
That 97, he said. Dan Saliamula got the face mask.
See, it makes you wonder what in the world they are doing. There it is right there. Well, he really kind of scraped across it, but Dan getting a lot of work today since Mr. Street, named after him, Cortez Kennedy, is out with a very sore ankle.
4 weeks he's been out now. First down and 5. Boom. Tough ball to handle. Jeff Graham coming back at the ball, spinning around, and Sean Springs was right on. There's Cortez on the right. Cortez Kennedy Boulevard in Wilson, Arkansas. Better see Cortez bring that Boulevard play his out to the field, but he can't do it while the ankle's bad.
You know, he told us yesterday he has never seen this much talent on one team. And one of the guys said that Cortez is like the Godfather. You know, he's a big guy, so he kind of sits in his place in the locker room until it's time for him to go to the meeting. Everyone comes to the Godfather.
That's right. He is a great guy. He's a lot of fun.
You know, it's little things, Don, like, you know, where do I go get a new car, Godfather? You know, he tells them what car dealership to go see. I need a TV, Godfather.
And he's got the most engaging laugh, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. Oh, you love being around. Godfather, I need some shoes. I need a haircut. Where's a good barber? And Cortez tells him where to go.
He directs everybody. He's got something to say to everybody. Hoying now 7 for 21, throwing the ball for 52 yards. 1 interception, sacked 9 times now. Oh, they're coming clean. That was Mark Collins, who was a defensive MVP of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 25 when the Giants beat the Bills. He's been on 2 Super Bowl championship teams. So he can show some rings to his fellow Seahawks. Like Ricky Watters can show 1. He can show 2.
He's got some golden diamonds. And this young man right here is going to be shell shocked. I mean, he's going to need counseling after this game. This is just incredible the way he's getting pounded in there.
I tell you, the Seahawks special teams are so much better. It's the difference in this team. Their offense and defense were good last year. They were 3rd in total offense last year, 8th in total defense, and near the bottom on special teams. And right down there with them were the Eagles on special teams last season.
And the Eagles had a lot of special teams problems in preseason. This kid Allen Rossen, though, looks like he could be a good runner.
Tuesday on CBS, Steven Seagal takes on Tommy Lee Jones in the action-packed blockbuster Under Siege. It's this week on the CBS Tuesday night movie. Shoot 'em up. John Freeze hands off, and the yards are there as the Seahawks keep powering the ball at the Philadelphia Eagle defense. Amon Green runs, gets ahead for about 9 yards. They got standouts 2 deep at just about everything.
At every position. I mean, when you can have Freeze, who was your starter, as a backup, when you want to take Warren out, when you have Amon Green as your backup to Ricky Watters, and it's not just those positions. It's at wide receiver. It's at several of the defensive positions, particularly the defensive line. Stacked.
Straight ahead carry. Seahawks just running a base off tackle offense now as they run the clock down to 10 minutes to play. Tennessee leading Cincinnati 20-14 at Cincinnati. Giants have now gone in front of the Redskins 31-17. They were behind, weren't they, last time we saw a score?
Yeah, they were behind early in the game, but somewhere along the way they turned it on. Dallas and Arizona, that's going to be a good game. Don't think that Dallas is going to walk over Arizona now.
If Arizona can protect Jake Plummer, the passer, they gave up more sacks than any team in the NFL last year, did Arizona. They're a contender. 2nd in sacks allowed. Last year were the Eagles with 64, but they've got 9 today, and I don't even want to do the math. Yeah, well, that projects out to.
Well, let me see. Working with my
about 134 or something.
With my 8th grader, they teach you to round it off to 10. 16 games makes it easy. 160 sacks. That's from doing 8th grade homework.
They're not going to have this kind of a rush every week against them.
No.
If there is a weakness in the Seahawks right now, it's that they're playing a middle linebacker, a rookie middle linebacker. Dean Wells is one of the best when he's in there. And he'll be back shortly as they go back to the run. Amon Green. I mean, this guy is as good as anybody we've seen today running the ball.
Amon Green's going to have 100 yards if they keep giving him the ball.
17 yards. Some say, well, he's running against second teamers and guys are going to be cut in the preseason. Well, he's doing it today against the front liners.
Well,
that has begun. Well, the #1 pick is going to go to the new Cleveland Browns, and the #1 pick in the next draft is going to be Tim Couch, quarterback from Kentucky.
No question.
That's presuming he comes out after his junior year. He only had 498 yards passing yesterday and 7 touchdowns, albeit against Louisville, which isn't the the 85 Chicago Bears, but still the numbers are unbelievable.
I cannot tell you what this town of Philadelphia is going to be like this week. The talk radio shows are the speakers on the car radios are going to be smoking. They'll be catching on fire.
Well, you're with KYW as their sports director, the CBS affiliate. You'll have to tell a sad story. Nobody's closer to the scene than you are, and you'll be breaking that news. And out on Cairo, Channel 7 in Seattle, they'll have a very happy story to tell.
Well, Seattle has a lot to be excited about. We have talked about that a lot today. Tell you better go get your jersey of your favorite player and start telling everybody at work that you've been a Seattle fan since '76 when they came in the league. Don't get on that bandwagon right now.
Looks like they'll be at Husky Stadium for a couple of years while the new stadium is built. That'll open in 2002, a fantastic new stadium. They're going to implode the Kingdome in the year 2000. Steve Broussard runs the ball. Broussard, a former Washington State runner, now in his 9th year. He's a great comeback story, Steve Broussard. He came home one day. His wife and child had left. He was troubled by drug and alcohol abuse. And that moment, his life changed.
That'll get your attention when your wife and baby leave.
And he's very quick to tell the story because he wants other people to know about it. And he turned his life around. Mom and the baby are back. And Steve Broussard, his career has picked up since. Very forthright guy, a very inspiring guy to talk to about what he went through and how he came back from it. Broussard runs again. He's another good runner, but you're running third team here with this talent they got in Seattle. The executive producer of CBS Sports is Terry Ewert. Today's game was produced by Al Szymanski and directed by J.D. Hansen. Opening day 98, Don Criqui with Beasley Reece at the Vet in Philadelphia. You talked about Amon Green might get to 100. He did, Beasley. They pulled him. He had 6 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
That's amazing.
An embarrassment of riches.
Well, Dennis Erickson said that as soon as Ricky Watters breaks a sweat, a tiny little sweat in these games in the future, that Amon Green is coming in.
Yeah, he said he's going to play. I mean, this isn't just in a game that's out of reach. He's going to play regularly.
He's going to play. They played Ricky probably more than they normally would today. They didn't give him many breaks with Amon simply because this was Ricky's homecoming. Starting next week, you'll see this kid Amon Green, you know, early, end of the first quarter, parts of the second quarter. Whenever Ricky needs a blow, they will not hesitate to put this young man in.
Challenging for more. This could be one of the worst defeats in Philadelphia Eagle history. Being shut out 38-0. They've not been near a touchdown. They haven't been near a long field goal try. They've had nothing on the offensive side, but they're playing a truly terrific football team in the Seattle Seahawks. Long hot day in the Eagles' nest. The Eagles trailing Seattle 38-0. It's been 10 years since the Seattle Seahawks have gone to the playoffs. That's going to change this year, I think, Beasley.
Oh, there's no question about that.
And we just saw a classy move by Dennis Erickson.
Well, Dennis Erickson tossed a sweep on 4th down when he could have kicked the field goal and got some more points. It's a classy move by Dennis. It's embarrassing for the Philadelphia Eagles for somebody to be taking pity on them like that. So the Eagles with so much work to do and Seattle with so much to look forward to.
Beasley, you played a long time in the NFL. You were a captain with the Giants in Tampa Bay. You've been with good teams and with teams that have had long seasons. What can Ray Rhodes say to his team when they meet tomorrow? How do you start to try to bring this thing back?
You know, it's like anything. You accentuate the positive. You talk about the flashes that they had in the running game. You congratulate Deuce Staley on a good job.
He's doing another one there as he runs.
Yeah, Ian Beckles and Bubba and a couple of other offensive linemen. Trey Thomas did a pretty good job. You pull Bobby Hoying aside and you say, Bobby, you know, you were sacked 9 times. I mean, you were just in a war zone. You can't get down about this. So you just have to pump everybody up with the positives and tell them that they have to, nobody cares about them but the people inside of this room. Don't listen to the media. Don't listen to the radio. And let's just try to get some things corrected.
Our CBS statistician Bill George totaling the numbers. The passing game, Seattle with 218 yards in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia with 11 yards passing. This is statistically is one of the worst performances that you can possibly. You couldn't say, let me draw up a bad statistical day for a football team and you couldn't come up with these numbers. You say, no, that's ridiculous. I can't put down 11 yards passing. You'd say that's ridiculous. I can't put down 9 sacks
for a game.
For a game. No, that's crazy. And yet it is the truth.
It is the hard facts. The Eagles totally without offense. So Seattle will be at home next week in the Kingdome, and they'll be playing the Arizona Cardinals, and good luck to them, the Cardinals, because it won't be easy. This team is not going to let up. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, they've got the Atlanta Falcons coming up, and in the last count, Atlanta was winning at Carolina today. Game clock winding down to 3:12 left to play. Sad numbers.
Net yards passing is almost impossible to fathom.
They go back to Deuce. He takes a hard strike from linebacker James Logan.
See, I think Deuce and Kevin Turner did their part today. You know, they got to get some blocking, get some pass blocking, get some blitz pickup recognition. You know, Bobby's got to be throwing three-step drops so that he goes back, and when that back foot hits the ground, he's moving forward to get rid of the ball.
Good point. He's had to throw off his back foot a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch back. Kevin Turner looks to turn it up, and he takes a head-on hit. They got some strikers. Deshaun Miles, that rookie middle linebacker, hits him.
But if you see there, Kevin Turner had some nice runs. Deuce Staley had some positive, nice runs. You know, there are some positive things that the Eagles can take out of this.
Coming up,
Not many.
There's Rod Pete. Every year, the 4 years that Ray Rhodes has been here, he's had a different starting quarterback on opening day. And it's been Rod Pete in the past. Last year, Ty Detmer started. He was pulled. They went to Pete. He was pulled. They went to Detmer. He was pulled. And they ended up with the guy they went with today, Bobby Hoying.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You either have it in you or you don't. Life's a sport. Drink it up. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Back at Philadelphia, Don Criqui with Beasley, Reece, Deuce Staley just ripping off a 20-plus yard run to get the Eagles down. I think it's their best field position, Beasley.
Well, Deuce is hanging that right arm down, and you know this team has been so unlucky. I hope he's not injured. Now he's got 20 carries for 95 yards and has really put on a show, because believe me, every yard was a personal war.
As the just the absolute fierce rush of the Seattle Seahawks. We're back at Philadelphia. Deuce Staley with 95 yards rushing. He might have fallen on the football, Beasley, on his last carry. It looks like he was working on his arm. But he had 95 yards. The only bright spot in an otherwise dismal Eagle offense as Bobby Hoying tries to get some points up. Dumps it off to his fullback, Kevin Turner. Ball's on the field. Up for grabs. It looks like the Seahawks might have it. They do. So the Eagle drive is stopped. And their one ray of hope to finally get on the board is also sees the door slammed. Thanks to our spotters Mike McKay and Bill Friel, and our statistician Bill George. Darren Smith looked like the guy came up with the ball.
Well, that's one. I'll tell you what, that's basically one nail in my friend Ray Rhodes' coffin. A performance like this. And then for it to end like this, you know, with the fumble. I tell you, I cannot tell you. The public has been around here about this football team. They basically expected this, predicted this, and it has come to pass. Really horrible performance by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Seahawks have in truth been doing a countdown since the third quarter when they built the lead to an insurmountable amount. If in truth it wasn't insurmountable early, maybe that first play, the first scoring play, the 41-yard interception by Sean Springs, returned for a touchdown, put Dennis Erickson's guys up with all they would need, a 7-0 lead. Here's what the Seahawks have coming up. Arizona and the Redskins at home.
Well, that's why it's important for them to win this one, because then they go Pittsburgh, Kansas City. They got some tough games down the road. So this is a big move for Seattle.
And this is the first shutout for the Seattle Seahawks since December of 1986. So while it's been a sad day for the Eagles and their fans, it has been a tremendous day for the Seahawks, who haven't been to the playoffs in 10 years, but they're going this season.
Dennis Erickson was very kind. He could have beaten this team 55-0 if he wanted to today.
That is the truth, Beasley. That is the sad truth. And this is not to say Ray Rhodes is not a good coach. He's been a terrific coach in his career as a defensive coordinator. He has Super Bowl rings and was coach of the year here at Philadelphia in '95, but now it's all gone awry. Another superpower, Minnesota, dominating today over Tampa Bay, what was considered a very good team going in. We'll be coming back to the vet in Philadelphia in a moment. This is the NFL on CBS.